Welcome everybody to the Keys to Wisdom channel. As you can see here, I've got the alphabet separated out. What I've done is separated the alphabet into 3 different categories. Those top 11 from E to Z are the 11 characters within the alphabet that are charged to Zion. The middle 4 are the actual tetragrammaton within the alphabet, the 4 that are not charged, no charge. And then the next 11 from C to X are the 11 characters within the alphabet that are charged to C-ion, Scion. So I remember it was, quite a few years ago, and actually I still see stuff happening nowadays. People say, I see 1111. Everywhere I see 1111, 1111, 1111, right? Well, all those people have seen 1111, 1111, 1111 a lot of different ways. And probably all of them have looked at their alphabet and they've never seen the 1111 within their alphabet. So what we're going to do here is try to recognize some of the things that are in our plain sight so that the other things that are hidden from us will be revealed to us. So we're starting out here with the format of 11, 4, and 11, right? 11 Zion, 11 Scion. But then we're going to apply what I've been telling everybody, and that is that the A and the B are from before the foundation, and that everything from C to Z is from the foundation, right? Found at ion. Again, what a difference a space makes, right? A, no charge. B, no charge. C, charged ion. Found at ion. Foundation. So, when we separate them that way, right, there's 2 that are from before the foundation, and then there is 24 that are from the foundation, though only 22 of them are charged either to Zion or to Scion, right? And 2 of them are not charged at all. They have no charge. They're as above, so below, just like the 2 from before the foundation. The difference being that the A 4 and B 8 are single digit realm before the foundation. C starts the double digits, and P 55, U 66, they're double digits, right? And they're the only 2 vowel slots from C to 26 to Z, and also the only 2 from C to 31, the completion of the full month, Genesis 1, right, before the 3rd script of triple digits starts at character 32, 101, 101, which would be the 5th vowel spot. So now when we're looking at this, and we've got it separated out to 11, 2, and 11, and 24 from the foundation, and the 2 that are from before the foundation, I think we can now apply this to the disciple action that we have going on. Also to our clock and a lot of other things, but especially to the disciple action going on. So let's just do this. C takes charge first. C ion originates before the E ion, which is the beginning of Z ion. So let's just put the P with the C ion. That's the first valence character that comes up, and put the U with the other. Now we have the 2 that are from before the foundation, and we have the 12 and the 12, right? But then in our stories, right, particularly where as it pertains to Jesus, right, we only have a story of Jesus from before the foundation, right? Nobody disputes that. And then we have 12 disciples of Jesus, right? That's very accepted stuff. But then we also know, and nobody will dispute, that Jesus traveled everywhere with Mary Magdalene, and also a whole bunch of women were traveling with the group, Jesus and Mary Magdalene's group. Right? But we have nothing in terms of Mary Magdalene or any female at all being from before the foundation, and we have nothing from the female side, Mary Magdalene or any other woman also having 12 disciples. But we also don't have any dispute that Jesus was the Word, right? And here with this setup within the Word, right? These two, the AB together, are 12, 12, 12, right? The 2 together from before the foundation are 2 12s, right? From the foundation at C is 1221. It's only 1 12. So what we get after the story is actually the C, the one from before the foundation, and then 112 representing the entire thing. And that's basically what's plastered on our clock, right? You know there's 24 hours on that clock. But you know that there's only 1 through 12 is represented on that clock. And that same 1 through 12 goes around twice to represent the entire 24 hours. It's not a second set of 12, but they do represent them in differences in terms of AM and PM, right? Or you can go on Army Maritime, right? And it'll do 1 to 24 hours, right? But this here, when you get it all separated out, right, I believe what we're seeing here is the true format of what actually occurred between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Jesus, I believe you see Jesus' 12 disciples here. Jesus here is one of the A or the B, right? And then that the other one of the A or the B is Mary Magdalene. And the other 12, group of 12, are the 12 disciples of Mary Magdalene, right? So we're basically showing out here is that one side is feminine and one side is male, masculine, right? Either Zion is feminine or masculine, or Sion, C-ion, is feminine or masculine, and the opposite side is the other, right? And then we can look into it too and see that the C-ion, right, contains the X, which is we use for labeling the female, and the Y is contained in the Z-ion, right, that we use for the X and Y chromosomes to label male and female, right? You have that in there, right? So once we get this stuff out, there's quite a lot of stuff that we can do. One thing, I'm gonna jot down these keys, right? This is the keys to the entire alphabet, A to Z once. Z ion now finally takes over, right? C to Y, it's charged Scion the entire time. Finally now at Z, it's the first time there's a charge change, and it's now controlled by Zion rather than Scion. So these are the first two, the main keys of the entire two scripts. Not the entire two scripts, because they would go to 31, but the entire first script and the 3 to 26 portion of the second script that is used within our word, right? So I'm going to jot them down. I'm going to use them in a minute, but I wanted to also pull something out because I had used, when I was splitting these down, that's still 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. So that's the 11 charges of Scion. And I wanted to start looking at them in terms of difference, right? So when I took the B and the U, right, I produced this 1979 key. So for me and what I've been doing and looking into, this is pretty significant, and that would put the U into the 12 of the Scion, and have the Scion being marked as the one that is B locked, right, where the air B locker, right, is pulled out, right. Those first two are both vowel slots, but currently within our word representing the sound on them, right, the B, the air is blocked at the front from the B, right, the breath of life. The A is open in the front, open in the back. B is blocked in the front and open in the back. And then we have the issue of animation, where consonants are all dust and they don't even exist unless there's a vowel animating them, and B, C, and D are all animated by the letter E, which is actually on the other side of the script, the Zion script. So E must precede the B, C, and D, otherwise our alphabet would say A, day, K, and day. Or if we were going to continue using the snake sound on the C, that would be, it would go A, bay, say, day, right? But our stuff says B, C, D, right? With the E following, right? And if we have ears to hear and think about it and recognize what is in our plain sight, there too it's showing us there's a lot of things that are hidden from us, right? And it's revealing a lot of things when we're listening to those letters, right? So I thought that was significant. And that since the U and the B plopped over here, if I do it this way, then that means the P and the A, or the PA, again flops over the other way onto the Zion portions of the charges, just like the Y is contained in the Zion portion and the X is contained in the Scion portion, male and female. So I thought that was significant. But when I do the P and the A on the 11 charged to Zion, right, I don't get that same production of 1979. But this is something, at least in my searching, to consider, right? And then the closest I can make to 1979 with those other 11 is actually the characters P and B, which would produce me a 2078 frequency, which is very close, right? You get these 2078 frequencies, and they're usually one I or one R off of clicking back to 1979. In that case, it would be an I for the E side, the Zion side, even though the I comes from this C ion side. So that was something significant, and perhaps it will play into the next thing. So I'm putting in here the term, the Lord our righteousness. Right? And I want you to see that down here, those keys of the full, complete alphabet, right? They're here. This 1188, and this time here is expressed as 10,791 versus 1,179. But it's got this 0 in there, right? And if we're looking at it male and female side, Zion, the Y, and Sion, the X, right? It's the Z side that has charge in terms of the complete deal, right? So it's got its full 1188, just like the keys of the complete alphabet, right? Or R, the portion of the alphabet that we use, A, B to Z. And then what would be the feminine side, if we're looking at it, has a 0 in there, right? Nothing, right? 0, 1, 1, 7, 9. But those are the keys from the script that we use, our alphabet, A, B, C to Z in there. And now I want to go to the verses that use this terminology, right? Because one of them is used male and the other one is used female. These is in the book of Jeremiah. So the first one I'm going to go over to is Jeremiah 23:6. And in his days Judah will be saved, and Israel will dwell securely. And this is his name by which he will be called, the Lord our righteousness. And then I go through all of this stuff, and I'm over at Bible Hub. I like to use Bible Hub because it lets me look at all the different translations out there in terms of the Bible verses, and you can get a big feel. You can recognize stuff in your plain sight there as well, looking at the way things have been translated and the differences, and they will reveal things that are hidden from you as well. So and I start going down the deal, and it says, this is the name he will be called, right? And this is his name. And this is Jeremiah 23:6. And this is the name he will be called. He will be called. He shall be called. He will 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 be named. He shall be called. His name that they shall call him. And this is his name which the Lord shall call him. The name of this king will be, they shall call him, he will be called, the name by which he will be known, his name where he shall be called, his name that the fake tetragrammaton YHWH proclaims him, the name to be given him, he will go by, the name he will go by, he will be called, he shall be called, he shall be called, proclaimeth him, the name that Jehovah proclaimeth him, right? So Jeremiah 23:6 is solid, right? Male, entire way, everywhere, male, 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 male. Small differences in the way that they're describing it in all of the translations. You can see that there's a type of harmony within the translation. So this next one I'm going to go and check out is Jeremiah 33:16. In those days, Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will dwell securely. And this is the name by which it will be called, the Lord our righteousness. And I'm going to go down the verses now, the rest of them at Bible Hub. This is the name by which it will be called, and this will be its name. And this is the name by which it will be called. It will be called. And then you get to the King James Version. In those days shall Judah be saved, and Jerusalem shall dwell safely. And this is the name wherewith she shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. The New King James sticks with it. She will be called. Then it goes back. It will be called. She will be called. She shall be called. She will be called. She will be named. She will be named. Whereby she shall be called. His name that they shall call him, in an Aramaic translation, Jerusalem will be named. All right, totally pulling out anything, it, he, or she. And this is the name they shall call him. And again, in another do-I rhymes, maybe some kind of French deal, translation. The city will be called. This is the name the people will call it. She shall be called. This is what she is called. They shall call her. Jerusalem will be called. It will be called. She shall be called. She shall be called. And this is he whom Jehovah proclaimeth to her. Wow. So we got she, he, it, Jerusalem. We're all over the map here, right? There's within these translations, just that topic of she, you can see how it has fluttered so many people, right? And how that since they have become like the Jews who either love the tree and hate the fruit, or love the fruit and hate the tree, just like Jesus told his disciples, right? His 12, right? They, because of what they've come up with, right, automatically when they're trying to make a translation of the Bible, right, and they run into this stuff that says she shall be called the Lord our righteousness, it unnerves them so much that they're all of a sudden having to change things to it, turn it into the city, right? And there's a difference in these verses where the male version, it's 100% male. 23:6, Jeremiah is saying that Judah will be saved and Israel will dwell in safety. And this time here in 33:16, it's saying Judah will be saved again, but this time it's using Jerusalem will dwell in safety. And that word Jerusalem, Jeru, is love, and then Salem says love males, or O-U-R, R males. Jerusalem, love males, loves male, R males, right? Or sour male, right? And I can see the sour male and the love males just looking in these translations, right? To recognize what is in my plain sight here and what's going on with all of the, not all of them, but you, this I'm sure within the ones where it's still translated as she will be called, right? They're having issues. There's pauses and lots of different debates and things with it, right? And this is why it comes out that, oh, Jerusalem is the city and Jerusalem is the bride and all this other bullshit, right? But that's in my plain sight right there, what the difference is in those translations, and it's because of what they've eaten and what they hold, right? So even if they get provided something, it's clearly saying this is about her, this is about the female, right? But they can't accept even what it's clearly provided about because of what they hold. It is all slanted, just like the word Jerusalem says, to love males, our males, right? And Jerusalem also says our Salem, right? Our Salem. Salem being the city of Melchizedek, and of course they use Jerusalem, right? So I think that sticks out pretty big, right? And when I bring it back here to the complete alphabet, and I show you that those keys in there, and that's about the first two, those keys represent the first two characters that are from before the foundation, one male and one female, right? And all your religious bullshit you have out there, they all, or a whole lot of it, completely says, right? Jesus is the lamb that was slain from before the foundation. Jesus from before the foundation, right? But they don't, there's no credit given to the other half, right? The female part from before the foundation. There's really is no understanding out there that there is two from before the foundation. It's just everybody thinks there's one, but I'm showing you here that these keys that represent the two that are from before the foundation, and they're 12:12, the 11:11 charged, and they're one representation of, right, that second script, 3 to 31, in our part of it 3 to 26, right? It has to have some vowels within it, or it wouldn't animate and exist at all, right? And that's the P and the U, right? Neither one of those are actual vowels. The P's not a vowel and the U's not a vowel, but those positions, that's what it's for. The four vowels that are open in the front, open in the back. A, E, I, O, which is fear, which is peace, right? Which is the beginning of wisdom. If you don't have that down, right, you don't have the word, you're not going to have capability to do anything but read the Bible and get misled, and the Tanakh, the Torah, and the Quran, and every other work that you got out here, right? You get misled to the point where you believe, well, the Bible's the Word of God, or these other things are the Word of God, or even some crazy person, they're the Word of God, right? David Koresh or some other bullshit, right? So you don't have down the beginning of wisdom, right? You don't have the fear of God, the A-E-I-O of God, the peace of God, right? Open in the front, open in the back. Don't block the air. Treat your neighbor the way you like to be treated, right? Not like A and B, where A is open in the front, open in the back. B is closed in the front, open in the back, right? We're not treating the neighbor of what is given to us, right? We're not treating Jesus' neighbor properly, which is the feminine portion from before the foundation, and the feminine portion in the entire deal of Jesus and the disciples, where there was Jesus, his 12, Mary Magdalene, and her 12. Right, so we're using a lot of this stuff here, right? To just recognize what is in our plain sight. Those 11:11. Those 11:11, which from the foundation is those 12:12, and the 2 from before the foundation. And we see our keys. We take them to the Lord, our righteousness, right? And those are clearly verses, one for him and one for her. We have our same issues that we can clearly see when we go down those translations of those 2 different verses. Right? The one about the he is all in harmony, and nobody is getting all uptight in translations and flustered because it lines up with what they hold, right? And then we get into the feminine portion of it, and here we see, holy crap, there's dissension and and even division there, right? In terms of how that is translated, you can just look at it, you can see it, right? Say, holy shit, right? And that's the way you have it with everything, right? All of the stuff that's ran through these translations. When it doesn't matter what the original stuff actually says, how true it is or whatever, when it gets to somebody who either loves the tree and hates the fruit, or loves the fruit and hates the tree, when they're done with that translation, it's going to be slanted to the side that they love and against the side that they hate, right? It's going to be all male. And I went over this, and we can take all of this shit about he created this and that, particularly Genesis 1:27, where we would pick up at the 5 trees of paradise if we ever went past the Z, right? And all of that can just as easily be changed over from male, 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 male to female, 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 or we can change it to
when you show your good side by donating at Grifols Plasma, you help make life-saving medicines for patients. And that makes everyone feel good. You can receive up to
some ad on the Jeremiah 23:16, right? It's like trying to interrupt me. Male side is just, hey, shut this guy down, right? So, I don't know, I think I kind of said enough here and showed enough here, but that's the gist, right? You're seeing 11:11, well, there's a big portion of 11:11 here within the word, but then when you really see it, right, you can see the 12:12. And then if you're really looking, you really seeing, you can see the 2 from before the foundation, and there are 12 disciples each, right? And then if we're really looking, we can see those keys and how they apply into that word, that phrase, the Lord our righteousness. And then if we really look at those verses in the Bible, his portion and her portion, and we look at it, we can see the dissension and the revision, right? And the conflict, right? Just when you look down this Jeremiah 33:16, those translations, right? The conflict's right there. So recognize what is in your plain sight, and what is hidden from you will be revealed to you. That same exact stuff has occurred over and over and over again when the stuff goes through the hands of those who love the male and hate the female. Alright, so I think I'll title this I see 11:11, and maybe it'll bring in some subscribers, because that's been a pretty big phenomenon, right? But really, I see 12:12. I see Jesus. I see Mary Magdalene. I see Jesus 12. I see Mary Magdalene's 12. And I see Jesus, the Lord our righteousness. And I see Mary Magdalene, the Lord our righteousness. And I see a bunch of liars and cheaters and revisionists who don't like Mary Magdalene and her side of the deal, right? So with that, please like the video, Share the video and subscribe to the channel if you think that's something you should do. And have a nice day.